Hi everyone. So in today's session, we'll understand the concept of loops. Okay. So let's start with an concept of increment and decrement. So 1 second. Increment and decrement. Then I'll also explain you what are loops actually. Uh, like if I relate this concept in a real life with a real life example. Okay, so when I'm talking about increment and decrement, so it's something like when you are increasing the value, increasing the value, or you can say that adding up something to the previous value, or the second one is decrementing, decreasing the value, decreasing the value. So imagine that suppose you have an variable x is containing 2, and now if you want to increase the value, okay, and if I want to increment it by 1, so if I want to increment it by 1, then I can write x equals to x plus 1. So what it will do, what it is saying that, okay, whatever the value of x is there, so suppose x value is there 2, then add in that x value plus 1. So basically now my x final value will become 3. Okay. Now my x final value will become 3. So this is something like incrementing. This is something known as incrementing. But now if I talk about decrementing, x equals to 2, and now if I want to decrement this value, so what I'll do, I will write x equals to x minus 1. So there are two operations. Now you can see that increment and decrement, and you can also increment it by 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not like, it is not necessary just you need to do like increment by 1 only. You can also do increment by 2, increment by 3, increment by 4. It totally up to you. It totally up to you. Okay. So here I'm just showing with 1. So let's see some question around it. So okay, so this is my main file. Now here I'll just remove this part. Here I'll just remove this part. Now what I'll do is declare a variable int x equals to 2. Now if I do x equals to x plus 1, let's see what will happen. Java main dot Java. Let's see. So the output is coming 3 because we have incremented 1 in that output. Now if I write int y equal to 2, and if I decrement y equal to y minus 1, now if I print it in this value, print this value, let's see what will happen. So if I do this, now let's see what will happen. So since we are actually decrementing it by 1, so what will happen? The final output will be 1 for y, and for x it will be 3. Now, when we used to do increment and decrement operation, okay, when we used to write this thing, when we were writing this thing, x equals to x plus 1 or x equal to x minus 1, there is another way in Java that we can write this statement. Okay, we can do this incrementing and decrementing. So basically, there is actually an operator plus plus, or we can say that minus minus. Now, if I say like if I do x plus plus, okay, or if I do x minus minus, it will do the same thing. Okay, it will, like when I'm doing the x plus plus, so it will behave in this manner. And when I'm writing, when I write x minus minus, then it will behave the same way. So let's see with an example. Now if I, instead of x plus plus, x equal to x minus 1, x plus 1, I will write this, and instead of this I will write this. Now let's see what will happen. Let's see what will be the output. The output will be same. Yes, the output will remain the same because it is actually doing the same. When you used to write plus plus, so it will increment by 1 only. But remember one thing, using this plus plus, we can only increment by 1. Using this minus minus, we can only decrement by 1. Okay, now I want to tell you that it's just not like you can use only x plus plus, x minus minus. There is also another thing which you can use is plus plus x or minus minus x. Plus plus x or minus minus x. So instead of it, if I still plus x plus plus, if I use plus plus x and y minus 1, minus minus 1. So let's see what will be the output. Now you can see that the output is same. So basically, understand one thing, like these two are actually the same. Okay, these are actually will give the same output. But these two things are actually, like in real, these two are actually different things. These two are actually different things. Now, when we used to write x plus plus, so basically this is known as post. Now you can see that what is happening here, plus 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 is written after x. So this is something known as post increment. Post matlab baad mein, later, post increment. And when we used to write plus plus x, this is known as pre-increment. Pre-increment. If I am writing x minus minus, that is known as post-decrement. Post-decrement. And when I am writing minus minus x, this is known as pre-decrement. Okay. Now let's try to let's try to understand the difference between these two. Okay. These two are actually basically different. So when we used to say that so basically we can give a collective name to this. Okay. We can give a collective name to this. So the collective name will be uh, like you can say that this is postfix operation. Postfix operation. And this is something known as prefix operation. Prefix operation. Now let's try to understand the difference between these two. Okay. So understand one thing, like when we talk about the difference, so difference you will not be able to see. Like with this example, you can see that the output was coming the same. But at one point, like in which case I can see that like these two things are actually behaving differently. So the case is like when you are actually assigning something. Okay, whenever you are actually assigning some value, so in that case, you will be able to see the output. You will be able to see the difference. So for example, let's try to understand the case of post, like pre-increment or post-increment. Okay, so I want to tell you the example of a plus plus and plus plus a. Okay, so let's try to understand with an example. Now suppose if I am writing int a equals to 10. Okay, and like isme first of all I want to tell you some steps. So basically what this a plus plus will do is, so basically you will see the difference in assigning whenever I am assigning some value. Whenever I am assigning some value, so suppose if I am writing c equals to a plus plus, and when I am writing c equal to plus plus a, now here what will happen, now in this case what will happen, It is saying that it is something like post increment. So what it is saying that I will increment my value later. I will increment my value later. My value later. So guys, just watch here that here two operations are happening. The one operation is A need to give its value to C. And the second thing is A need to increment its value. So you can see that like A plus plus. A plus plus is a post increment. So post increment, so by that A will understand that okay, I will increment my value later, but before that I will give my value to C. So basically, suppose imagine that A value is 1. Now, if A value is, suppose A value is 3. Now, if A's value is 3, now in that case, what will happen? Since A is giving the value to C, now C value, now like the C will become 3. Now, after giving that value to C, now A will increment its value. So now A will become 4. So that's why if you print the value, like if I just print SOP, if you print the value of C and if you print the value of A, then you will see the difference. And what's the difference? Because A has first given the value to C. Now the A value will be, you can say that the C value will be 3 and A value will be 4. Why? Because A later actually incremented the value. So this is something like post increment. But when I'm saying plus plus A, so in that case, what will happen? A first increment the value. This is known as pre-increment, and then it will give that value to C. So if you do SOP and then C and SOP A, then in that case, what will be the output for both of them? So that will be 4 and 4. Because here what is happening? A is saying that I will increase my value first, then only I will give to you. So now here in this case, it is giving the value to C later. So this is the basically difference between like post and pre-increment, like these operator. So here you can say that int plus plus x. So suppose if I am writing int c equals to, so you can see that this is something like 2 and what was the, I was taking value a equal to 3. The value was 3, suppose. And now suppose here I also write this thing. And here I will write minus 2. Now let's see in both cases what will be the value of C and. So this is the value of C. So this is the value of X. This is the value of C. This is the value of X. Now let's see what will happen. Let's see what will be the output from these statement. Okay, here I have done some mistake in C. So basically I am declaring C again. So here I write C1. Here I'll write C2. Because I'm actually defining the variable 2 times. So that's why it is giving me error. Now if I run it, so you can see that C1 is 4 and X is 4. Okay, so C1 is actually, because this is a postfix operation. So X equal to 3. So X is saying that first I will increment my value, then only I will give it to you. So X will become 4 and C1 will get 4. Now here in this one, Y is 3. So Y minus minus Y. Okay, so basically I need to take the another example, X plus plus actually. Okay, I'll take the another example, because I need to see for like x plus plus. So if I just print this C2 and x, okay. So what I'll do is run it. So basically here in this one, what will happen? X equal to 3 and C1 plus plus X. Now X will become 4 first, then it will give the value to 4, C. So now both of become 4, 4. C2 is equal to X plus plus. So what will happen? See, X value is right now. What is the X value? X value is right now 4. You know that like from previous code, X value is we already have 4. Now, after doing this, what will happen? 4 plus plus. Now, x will first give that value to C2. Now, C2 will become 4. You can see that. Now, after that, x value will become incremented. So now it will become 5. So this is how this output is coming. So I hope you understood this prefix and postfix operation. And now let's move to the another concept, that is loop. Let's move to the another concept, that is loop. So basically, what are loops? Now you know that like suppose you have seen this thing. Like suppose you went to Spotify, okay, and you are listening some song, and you know that like there is a feature which is known as loop. Now in that loop, what will happen? Suppose once the song is actually played, once the song is played, now in that case, what will happen? Since you have put in loop, now in that case, the song will play again. The song will play again because this is loop is running. Okay, the loop is going on. So in the loop, what is happening? The thing is actually getting repeated. But now, if I tell you like what is the meaning of loop in basically in like in programming language. Now, if I explain you, like suppose if I take this problem one dot Java. Now, imagine that, like suppose if I am printing something, suppose if I want to print hello, imagine that if I want to print hello world. So now what I did is I written it one time. Suppose if I want to print hello world one time. Now, what if I want to print hello world two times? So I will write it two times. What if I want to print the hello world three times? So I will write it three times. What if I want to print the hello world four times? Then I will write four times. Now, what if I want to write it 100 times? Okay, imagine that I want to write it 10 times. Okay, so this is I have written 5 times. So I'll copy it. Now you can see that I have 10 times. Now you can see that like I need to write this statement 10 times. But what if I need to do, if I print this hello world 1000 times? Then in that case, I need to do a lot of copy pasting, or you can see that this is a very tedious task. Even if I know that like I want to print this hello world 1000 times. So this is not a right way. So basically what we are doing here is we are repeating an operation. We are repeating an operation again and again. So this operation is getting repeated. So basically, if I want to print this even 1 lakh times, 1 crore times, then we need some concept through which I can do this operation like again and again to that much number of times. So for that we have something known as loops. So for that we have something known as loops. So इसके लिए like I want to give you an example. So imagine that there is a track, एक track है. Imagine that there is a track and a marathon is happening. And a marathon is happening. Now, since you are actually standing at this point, okay, and imagine that this is an 100 km or 100-meter race. Okay, not marathon, also okay. I mean, imagine that this is a 100 km. So, or 100 meter. Okay, this is not a marathon, this is something like a sprint race. And now suppose this is a 100 meter. So 0, 1, 2, 3, like it is actually going this one. And now this is the 100 meters. So this is the final destination which you need to reach. Now imagine that what is happening. Right now, you are actually standing at 0, j equal to, I'm just putting it a pointer like I equal to 0. This is the position, I equal to 0. Now, what you know, imagine that like this is something like a jumping race. Okay, at every point you need to jump, 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 and finally you need to reach the 100 position. So basically, like after that, like what will happen is when you are standing here, so you will make a jump, and then your I value will become 1. So basically now you reach to I1. Now I2. So I is actually keeping track of your position. Now you will jump in I equal to 3. Okay. So similarly, you will keep on jumping till you reach the 100-meter one. And finally, when you will reach to the 100-meter, then you're basically then you can say that you're like you have finished the race. Now, when you are jumping, so there are three important things. Okay, since you can see that like you are what is happening here is you are repeating the activity of jump again and again. How many times? 100 times. So basically, this is something like a loop which is keep on running. Loop is something like you are repeating an activity of jump, 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 and it will happen till 100. Now there are three important things which is required here. The first thing is like from which like it the very important thing is the initial point. You should know like when you want to run a loop, so there are three things very which is very important. The first thing is starting point, from where you are starting. So we know that like we are starting from I equal to 0, like from the 0th meter. The second thing is ending point. We should know that like from where I need to end. So I need to end to the 100 meters. And the third thing is like at at every point, at each point, how many jumps you are making. At each point, how many jumps you are making, you are doing. So basically, you can see that like every point I was making a one jump, one jump, one jump. So basically, you know that like it is making a one jump at each point. Okay, so this is very important. Like, since you can see that, like, this is something like 1 second. Now, similarly, when I'm talking about loops, in loops, like there are three things which is very important. The first thing is, as I mentioned, starting point. Okay, and for that I equal to 0. The second thing is when I was talking about like how long jump you are making at each point. You can say that. The second thing is ending point, basically till when you are making the jump, till when you were making the jump. So basically here you can see that when your I was less than equal to 100. So till that this condition was true, and you were keep on making the jump. I is less than equals to 100. And the third thing is like how long jump you are making. So your jump of 1 meter. So basically these three things are very important in terms of whenever we talk about loops. So basically, what is the syntax of writing loops? What is the syntax of writing loops? So syntax is we have something known as while loop. So this is known as while loop. So basically what I'll do, I'll write in this fashion. So while the format of writing while is this. And in this while, what will happen here? The condition will come. Till the condition is true, this it will keep on executing the code block. So what is the code block? So here your code will be written until this condition is true. And what you need to do, this code will keep on executing. And here you need to mention your starting point. Here you need to mention your starting point. And then what will happen is basically you will be able to like write a loop on this one. Now, in terms of code, if I say Like how will you do it? In technical terms, how we used to write it, it is known as first we will do initialization. Initialization. After initialization, what I will do, I will write while, and in the bracket, I will put condition. So there is a condition. And now here I will write code and I need to do some kind of increment and decrement. Increment or decrement. That we will see, don't worry. So this is the syntax of basically while loop, how we used to write it. Now let's see if I want to write basically if I want to execute this jumping thing 100 times. Now what will happen? Suppose if I want to print this hello world 100 times. Now I'll follow the same thing. First, I will write that int count. Okay. So this is my variable int count, or I can say that int I equal to 0. Right now I'm standing at 0th position. Now after that I'll write the thing. Okay. Imagine that like first I'll remove this part. First, suppose if I'm writing a normal while loop. This is a block and this is something like a inside this I'll write my code, whatever I want to execute. Now suppose if I write here true. Okay. So suppose if I'm writing here true, system.out.println. Now here I'll print hello by, and if I execute it, now let's see what will happen. So this is my problem1.java. Problem1. So now if I execute it, let's see what will happen. Now it is saying that, okay, I need to, I think, write it in this manner. Okay, so because I here you need to give a Boolean value. Okay, like in if else. So now you can see that hello y was keep on executing because the loop is not ending, because the condition is always true, and that's why this loop is not ending. So I have like forcefully like stopped it using Control C. So basically here I need to give some kind of condition which need to stop at some point. Okay, so what I'll do is I will write int I equal to 0 until when I want to execute this code. I want to execute this code till my I is less than equals to 10. Okay, now if in that case, what will happen? Java problem1.java. So let's see how many times it will execute. 1 second. Something wrong is happening. Okay, so here you can see that I equal to 0, 0, I equal to 0 and I is less than equals to 10. So that is true, then hello bhai will get printed. But again, you can see that like 0 is less than equals to 10. We need to increment I also. So I will write I plus plus. So it is a normal increment decrement. You can also write plus plus I. So it doesn't matter. Why? Because like when you are not assigning something, so in that case, both will give the same result. So you can see that like hello by is got printed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it is printing it 11 times. So we'll see that how it works. Then you will understand it better. So for that, suppose if I write it I less than 5. Now in that case, then we will see the dry run of it. Now you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now how this hello bhai is actually getting printed. So let's see the dry run of it. Okay. So before that, I want to tell you, whenever you are executing any code, what is the flow? How this code is actually used to get executed. So understand one thing, whenever you used to execute your code, so always this statement will happen first. This statement will execute first. So I'm just numbering it. Then it will come to 2. Okay. Then it will come to this part. Basically, 3. Then it will come to this part 3. And after that, what will happen? It will again come to 2. So 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3 will keep on executing. So basically, first 1 will happen. After 1, it will go to 2. And after 2, it will go to 3. And in this 3, what will happen? This loop will keep on executing 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So basically, the second condition will execute, and then third, like all this thing, like will get executed. So this is something you can say that like is known as like something like loop. But what if I'll just add one more thing here? I'm just pointing out that 3 is my code and executing the increment decrement is my 4. So in that case, you can say that my code will execute 2 and then it will go to 3 and then from 3 it will go to 4 and then it will go to 2. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So this is how your code will execute 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, like in this manner. And at any point, this when this condition will become false, the code will execute the stop. Let's see in like execution. So suppose if I'm saying that your I is 0. Suppose if I'm saying that your int I is equals to 0, and now here I'm writing while I less than 5, and here I'm writing system dot out dot println hello. So basically here I'm writing this code hello, and now here I'm writing I equal to I plus 1. Okay, so basically here you know that like I've written this thing. Now what I'll do is I'll make a so this is my 1, this is my 2, this is my code 3, and this is my part 4. Like increment decrement I'm putting like it separately. Now if I write I equal to 0, this is my first part, I less than 5, this is my second part, and like whatever code is written, so code I'll mention here like system.out.println hello, and this is something like my I equal to I plus 1. So now let's do it. Let's run the loop. So basically what will happen first? The first it will start from I equal to 0. So I know that like when the first code will execute, so it will give I equal to 0. Now it will come to second one. So 0 is less than 5. So this is true. Now after coming to this point, so I told you now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 happened, 2 happened, now coming to 3. So 3 will be printing hello. 4 will be I equal to I plus 1. So basically I will write I equal to I plus 1. Now after coming this 4, after coming to 4, now it will again come to 2. So 2 is this. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Again come to 2. So 2 is 1 is less than 5. That is true. Now it will come to hello. Now your I will incremented I equal to I plus 1, 2. So 2 is less than 5. That is true. Hello. Keep on executing it till your condition won't become false. 3 is less than 5. That is true. Hello. I equal to 4. 4 is less than 5. True. Hello. I equals to 5. 5 is less than 5. That is false. So here it will become false. Now at this point, when it will become false, it will come out of the code. And how many times it has printed hello? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every answer you will be able to find it using dry run. So this is known as dry run. Okay, this is known as dry running the code. And through dry run, you will be able to understand how this output is coming. So this is something known as like this. So in the beginner level, we will do in this way, but later we can follow some like a good approach. Okay. So guys, this is the thing. And like one more thing, if I want to add, like if I can also increment it by 2. If I want to increment it by 2, then like the hello pie will not get printed this much number of times. So in that case, what will happen? Let's see how many. So you can see that output is coming 3 times because here you are making a 2 jump. So if you want to find this answer, I would recommend you to I will recommend that do a dry run. And then you will understand that how it is actually printing three times, following the same methodology. Okay. ठीक है, that's all for today. And yeah, thank you everyone.